I'm just doing some trim here. So to put this bit of trim on, I had to take the dash top off. So it's a good opportunity to have a look at the wiper mechanism. So I've had to take the wiper mechanism out to do a couple of little mods because it was fouling on a couple of things. So it's a good opportunity to show you what I've done. That's the original Land Rover gear there that picked up on the little funny cable thing that makes it go backwards and forwards. And this housing here I've just cut down a bit for clearance wise. Drilled and tapped a couple of M4 holes in there. Exactly the same on the other end. Tesla wiper motor is mounted here and just goes backwards and forwards. I measured it actually, so it seems to move about 95 millimeters backwards and forwards. So using that 95 millimeter travel, we can work out how long or how far this needs to mount from the middle pivot point of that. At the point that this does its full travel, the bit on the end of this needs to move 95 millimeters. So yeah, I think I've got that pretty right now. I had to do a bit of clearancing here. So here's the link to each wiper. This joins into the passenger side. This is the driver's side, and you can see, so this is the original Tesla fitting with the ball joint on it. I think, yeah, so it continued on originally, but I've cut that off and I've made my own adapter with the ball here. I've just got this tape because I was painting it. I've needed to mount this in a different spot, so this bolts through there. Punched this out of the original Tesla mount, which is not too hard to do, and then I've drilled an M8 hole and pressed it back in, and I've just put a couple of tab welds on to hold it. So that's how it all goes together. You can see how I've had to lengthen this join a fair bit and put a weird crank in it to clear the Land Rover weirdness, but that works. So I think I've got all the ratios right now. Good to remount this now and check that it works okay. So I've been fiddling around with the length of this arm and the position of this arm so that it clears everything here. It's very fiddly getting this length right. Obviously I want to make sure they come across here so I can see. Another criteria obviously is they need to clean the bit in front of the cameras and obviously the rain sensors. Well, probably only one of them's implemented. This was banging against that and had to clearance that. Anyway, a lot of stuffing around and trial and error. Let's give it a go. Nice. So I'm getting full coverage. So yeah, I can button all this back up now. Put the dash top on and start making it look a bit less like a disaster zone. I'm just mounting the antennas, the Wi-Fi and cellular antennas. So I've just double-sided tape onto, this is just a piece of black painted plastic so it won't block the signal, and then I'll stick them up the front here. So all the antennas are mounted. Out of the way, doesn't obscure my view, so that's another thing done. So I guess I should be filming a bit of this. I'm not going to film the whole thing because it's boring. Trimming the inside here and making a center console. Taking me the last, I reckon I've been working on this for about 3 weeks now. So fiddly. Not hard, but like there's a lot to think about and try to get fitted in. So I've tucked all this wiring down here. I've made up, there's 2 vents here. I've blocked this bottom one from the HVAC, which goes to the footwell of the rear passengers. And then I've cut the end off this one, which goes through the center console, usually in the Tesla, to the vents at the back. I do want to make use of that. It is quite nice. I mean, Digger loves that vent. It's his favourite thing. So I've just glued some 50mm drain pipe, which will come out and then come up and go back to the back of the car there somehow. And you can see here I've put a flat thing. I need to line all this, but I've used the original Tesla cup holder. And the ducts out the back of the HVAC, I've 3D printed these little things to bring out here. They're going to use the console that I'm making here. This console So they come out here, and these bits in the console ducted out through here. And I've made some 3D printed things, and they're quite small. I was worried they might be a bit small, but I've tried them with it on, and it actually gets decent airflow. So yeah, made a panel here, and the card reader will mount there. I've 3D printed this, because the card reader usually mounts flat in the Tesla and the console, and you just put the card on briefly to enable you to drive, and then you put it back in your pocket or something. But I'm going to be probably leaving the card reader there most of the time, unless I want to secure the car, which I'll remove it. Slot in there that holds it in. It's for the cigarette lighter, original console interior light. And I've modified these ducts, cut these ducts off to go into the side panels here. So yeah, these side panels here. This is it's the passenger side, driver's side. So these ducts here mate up with those HCAC ducts. This is the airway vent duct, and this is the footwell vent duct. Sort of too hard to duct it all the way down to the footwell, but it's just aimed down at the footwell, and I think that'll work fine. And I'm putting the speaker that usually mounts in the centre of the Tesla dash. That seemed to be a good spot. And these cut-out holes are for the storage pass-through thing in here. Just trying to utilise that space because it's may as well. And then, yeah, the centre console is taking a little while. So you can see I've integrated the Tesla USB module. The other USBs that mount at the front of the console, they're in here. And yeah, the cup holders, actually more like bottle holders actually, for water bottles. And there's a couple to stop the water bottles just falling through. These will mount in here, and that's got the cigarette lighter mounted on. And it's the floor of the console. And I'll bring up the wires for the switches. There's two for the lights for the console. Yeah, so it looks a bit building side at the moment. I think it'll be good though. I think it's going to look good. Also, this bit was a bit tricky because this is full of computers and stuff now. I need to line this. What is it, the chime speaker or whatever it is? Really time consuming this. Really time consuming. I pretty much finished the console after, oh man, it's been about 5 weeks it's taken me. Holy moly. Anyway, this thing's taken ages, but I mean, it's worth doing because it's a big part of the driving experience. So I've gone Tesla on the on a little wooden thing. It's a lot more practical. You can actually put stuff on it. That's the original Tesla cup holder integrated in there. And then Camille came up with this idea on how to cover this using the same OzCam cover. So that's done. That was a bit tricky to cover, and as you can see here, I've integrated some more camouflage pattern here. That's not the contact adhesive soaking through. I'm going to say that's extra camouflaging. Same with the extra camouflaging here. The console size was determined by, well, the height was a nice armrest height, and the width was basically as wide as I could make it. So I've got a heap of storage in here. It's pretty big. I've got some mass-loaded vinyl for a bit more soundproofing. I've got the rear USBs in here. The front USBs are here. You can see them in there. Tesla accessory to expand and extra USB out, so that's pretty useful. I've got the lights, original console lights in there, which are useful, and the switches for them, they're not on at the moment because the car's not on. They're actually hidden under here. Those little switches, I can't even see this one. Oh, there's one there, and there's one there. Bottom of my cup holders, and cigarette lighter there, and the card reader. You can just leave the card in it if you want. A bit more storage in here. You can see the vent outlets on this side, 3D printed vent outlets. Another speaker here. And yeah, I finished trimming the dash because it actually looks quite good. I don't have the this was sort of a tray in the Land Rover before, and it was sort of only useful for just bits and bobs, but I mean, I've got a massive bit of storage here now, so still need to do a bit more trimming inside. I've just put some panel deadening in there, and then yeah, I need to make up some new mats. Probably use that mass loaded vinyl for some mats, and I'll probably carpet around the footwell there and the seat squab. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Big job, like that took ages. Got my dashboard pretty sorted now. I haven't hooked any of this up yet. This LCD screen here, and then I had this other one here, so I thought you can't have enough LCD screens, so I got a triple LCD screen set up and a couple of buttons here. I'll probably make one of them for the power steering pump. The good thing about this is I can customize this to whatever I want. It's also touchscreen, so I can actually get it to activate stuff. So this will be connected to the vehicle via a CAN bus connected controller, and then you can print any data you want on there, really. Yeah, it's looking much nicer inside now, so pretty happy with that. So finished trimming the rear door, which is much better. The old one was getting really tatty, so I just totally redid it all anyway, so that looks a lot better. Washers and wipers sorted now. The problem is the washer motor is so powerful, it goes too high. It's a lot better washer motor than the old Land Rover one anyway. Yeah, auto wipers are working. Cool.